What's up, YouTube? I got this from a friend in another room. Wanted to share your opinion about these levels based on GEX and 0DD calls using NASDAQ. Interesting. I don't like downloading stuff from other places. No offense. Is there any way you could screenshot it and do a picture? I never know as people put in files and stuff. I see the double top. We're looking at SPY, but we're looking at ES. Seems to be a bit north of Friday. No, if you look at Friday's highs, it's the 355 candle. We put in a high of 5648, and we just rejected 5649. Market's now open. Beautiful. Looking across, by the way, have a happy St. Patty's Day. Most of the market is about 50-50, red and green. The X's are literally 5 green, 5 red. The top tech stocks are a mixture as well. There's no real outlier moves. The only outlier name I see here is Tesla. Everything else is plus or minus 0.1, 0.2%. Tesla is down 3.3%. So my ES is showing a price of 56.87 at the moment. Oh, you must be on June contracts. TradingView has not rolled the June contracts yet, so I'm still trading March contracts. That's why. IV currently is 35% at the money SPX positions. That is about 15 to 20% lower than last week. So we do have a slight IV. In fact, Spot Gamma said that Friday's bounce was not driven by long players. It was driven by the roll-off of IV. A little bit of IV crush, which changed up Vanna a little bit and required some buyers to hedge a little bit differently. It wasn't just an onslaught of call buying and put selling and whatnot. Let's take a look here. That's a lot to read at the moment. Market current close price to 19.6. Put gamma. Yeah, we're still in negative gamma, which is increased volatility. 19.5. So he says 19.5 is a break lower. I could agree with that. Yeah, I mean 19.5 is the pre-market low. Now my macro thesis is much lower than that. Once we take out 19.1 or so, it seems to be that analysis driven by a 5 or 15 minute scale, which definitely 19.5 will bring us lower. But the big dog level is going to be the 19.19 level on Nasdaq. Put support. I assume he's getting that information from NDX, but yeah, seems reasonable, definitely. I personally don't monitor NDX just because it's such a big name. Gold's looking to break out. Yeah, so gold rejected 3,000, just under it, just over, I'm sorry, and then rolled back over. And they are holding that retest level. So the 29.90, if they do fail and go lower, the 29.72 area is their level to go long again. But as long as they hold 29.9, you're fine on gold. Nice long at the 50% FIBO. Nice. New high of the day here, 56.50 on ES coming up. And their next target's going to be the 56.75. So are we bullish again? Not yet. Not yet. There's no sign of bullishness here. Yet. On the macro scale. We're still range bound. However, on the 5-minute scale, very bullish. We just took out the overnight high. We just took out Friday's highs. And the only thing left is the last week, the weekly highs from last week. Hero indicator right now is showing aggressive call buying and put selling. So definitely a bullish setup for the option chain here. Was buyer's acceptance not important? It is important. Yeah, it is important. But now we've got one more target left, which is the weekly high. And we have to close above it. We haven't closed above it yet. One of the tornadoes that touched down near me was heading towards the Y12 National Security Complex. I looked up later and saw they have a safety measure in place for extreme weather, but that was pretty scary. Oh, yeah, I know exactly where that is. Yeah. Place is crazy. Remember, we haven't closed above the buyer's acceptance range yet. Still going, 56.50. Nice little 20-point candle. We have call buying, put selling, typical open here. The top leg of the iron condor is 5680 on SPX. 5680, which is going to be about 30 points higher if it goes, especially on higher time frames. Yep. Well, that's what I mean. That buyer's acceptance has to be a daily close. A daily candle has to close above that buyer's acceptance for me to start flipping everything to go long here. And then, of course, the last line of defense will be 56.76. But we've been very bullish now. The buyers once again took over at 2 in the morning and has never let up. And now we're just flying up, 56.56, still going. They did the same thing on Thursday as they controlled the entire pre-market. And then they had a big dump at 10 o'clock. So it appears they're going to do relatively the same thing. We did have some decent data this morning at 8:30. We have business inventories today at 10 o'clock, which is a very light data, but it's there. And that's before we start off. Now, today, remember, today is the last day for VIX options. So, in my opinion, a lot of this is fueled by simply they are rolling off VIX options here. They're closing everything, which is what we see here. VIX is plummeting down to 21, a huge liquidation on the VIX. And, of course, that's causing a tailwind here. ES is flying. We have call buying, put selling, as all those VIX options, those VIX calls close out on down. And today, obviously, today is the last day for VIX options of being at VIXpiration. 56.60. That cat, that big old dude sitting at 56.60 was taken off the books, so he did not transact. Regardless, things are quite bullish. Last remaining defense is 5695. What's up, KC? John Herr, good morning. IV is sitting 32%. $5,664. There we go. Coming up to R2 now, which is last week's high coming up. Blastaroni. What day is the NVIDIA Keystone? When was that? That was Thursday, isn't it? The 20th? Yeah. So that's something to pay attention to for NVIDIA. And once we get through the morning here, I want to switch over to NVIDIA for a second and kind of do some analysis on the chart with you all to discuss some concepts, because I think that will be, last year it was a pretty bullish move for NVIDIA. Still going green. Call buying, aggressive call buying, and put selling right here. $5.6 there. Coming up to the last week's high. Yeah, buddy. All weekend long, I freaking laid hardwood floors, so I am covered in glue. I look like I haven't showered in weeks with the amount of glue all over me. It's terrible. So how late in this move is it okay to decide to buy for the move higher? I feel like the bottom is 55.27 was the entry. Anything up here would be risked. Well, remember that we're still inside the range. You know, look at the macro level. We're still inside the range here. So until we accept higher these prices, if this does V recovery, we haven't even began yet. There's plenty of upside opportunity. That's why I'm saying like long-term charts here are the winner. If you want to avoid getting caught in the whipsaw wait for the buyers to accept the real levels to determine we're going higher. So we haven't even started the bullish move yet. 56, this buyer's acceptance zone is huge. The 50s up to 55.80 here, or 56.80, I'm sorry, is huge. And once we close over it, that'll tell me that the sellers have kind of stepped out at least temporarily, and it's time to at least temporarily start to play long side. But every single move to the upside has been immediately creamed, not to mention today's expiration. I'm waiting on your quote today for this time frame. I got you. Well, don't trade on my behalf, for sure. I was curious over the weekend to look back on my Nvidia position I sold a couple years back. Today it would be over 500%. My average price per share is $19. Yeah, I try not to do that. I try not to do that. I think about how much money my dad spent on playing the Pick 3 lottery, and instead if he would have just bought Amazon and Apple, that we would, be billionaires right now. But hey, that's the way it goes, doesn't it? Isn't it? That's the way it goes. $56.66. My first live stream. Join the community this weekend. Nice, VK. Welcome. Let me know if you have any questions. $56.66. Still going. We are just about to hit my first 15-minute move. This is a very aggressive move for the first 15 minutes, and I'm perfectly fine not touching it. It's outside of my comfort zone right here. Boom, blasting last week's highs. Yeah, we're coming up on a big weekly resistance right here. Big weekly resistance. Premiums are starting to deflate just a little bit. Now, a little discussion to be had is that when this market transitions back into a bull market, that transition piece is usually where people start to get smoked because they don't know how to adapt. They continue. It's kind of like that, what's it called? I forget what it's called. The hot hand theory, where just because something has been happening, your human mind thinks that's going to continue to happen. That's why people get smoked gambling on sports or in the casino. Hey, this guy's hitting threes. I'm going to bet on him, and then all of a sudden he bricks everything. 10 bricks in a row. So it's same concepts here. So everything thinks we're going to reject and sell off everything, and then they get caught trying to short highs on a blasting trend green day. So this is that time where you want to do a little analysis and wait, and to see, is this in fact the buyer side? This is why the macro analysis is so important, of looking for a break of last week's highs and stuff and holding. Still going green here. We do have a very minor data in 15 minutes. So yeah. To be fair, we did break the trend line on Friday. Yep, we did break that trend line, but the macro resistance is the big dog here. You know my sports betting habits too. It's all the same, man. It's how you approach anything. Man, this thing is flying. We're already up, what, 55 points since the 8:30 data low. Full port blackjack. A little more liquidity coming on here. Nvidia is not feeling the love. TLT is back over 90 although they just rejected it. They spent a little bit of time in the 89s, but it's been back and forth. Yields are a mixture of green and red. ES is still holding 56.60s. Little 90s Backstreet Boys there. 5-minute top wick. Yeah. 5-minute top wick. What's up, Iron Will? What does expiration mean? Expiration, like today, for example, our expiration, is the expiration of monthly contracts for VIX, and then of course Wednesday will be the S&P options expiration, the monthly expirations. That just tells you when all the options chain begin to expire and roll off, and it changes the underlying tides, the pull of the markets. So that's why VIX right now is plummeting. We have a little bit of IV crush. Markets are in a tailwind, up to 5670, 5680, up and up and up. RTY still straight up. SPY still straight up. NASDAQ, all things, still going, 18,820. NASDAQ put on a healthy top wick, a 60-point top wick. ES did not. Still going strong. However, I'm sure it's reaching that point off the weekly levels. XLF is flying. All 10 X's are now green. They open up half and half. They are all green. They just ate that little liquidity that came on at 5670 as they climb higher. We are now inside my trading time frame, and I will look to fade this eventually. Got stabbed out 57 points on MNQ. There you go. Nice iron will. Netflix is going crazy. Yeah, a lot of stuff is going crazy right now. Tearing it up. Tearing it up. 672 coming up to last week's highs. 15-minute volume is not comparable to last trading day. Yeah, so that is going to be the case. As we begin to kind of feel all this out, the opening volatility, or the opening volume, or the daily volume for that matter, has been dropping steadily. So I will look for that trend to continue until we have some sort of true bottoming phase. Nice little top wick here. 5669. Don't need that. Don't need that. We've got Hero is still call buying. They are starting to trickle into some puts, very light puts, but extreme call buying here. So let's see what happens here at the weekly highs. We haven't touched the weekly highs yet, or let's just say last week's highs, but they are very close. Let's go take a look at the CVD on NASDAQ. NASDAQ is not performing as good as ES here. Do you think we'll reach those 300 NASDAQ orders up around 980? It's possible, yeah. When we go bullish, I mean, it'll fly. It'll fly, but we have to reach that point of confidence here to start swinging long, to start flipping your thesis here. There's a ton of upside potential once it clears these levels. Ton. So, ES with a nice little 10-point rejection. Coming on down, red candles, ever so slightly. 5665. I just don't want us to blast today. I don't think today will be if it does blast, I don't think it'll be a tremendous upside day. I think, yes, we'll have some tailwind here, just outside of the morning here. My thesis was early bullishness this week, and I do think we'll close out the week with some red, especially with FOMC. This week is FOMC on Wednesday. 5662. Nice little rejection. On down. 5661. 25. Beautiful. Yeah, buddy. You're welcome. 56.59, dropping healthily. Nice. On down, just in the nick of time. 56.59, dropping. Nice little move. Beautiful. Beautiful. Nice little top wicks just under the weekly high. Do I trade Bitcoin? I do not trade Bitcoin. Options or the coin itself. 890. 57. Nice little beautiful drop after a very prolonged bull move. On down. $56, $54, $25. Fantastic. The support resistance test will be 5648. 5648 will be the one right there. Add another point to OM score. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. There's plenty of time to go to be bullish, but we're not quite there yet. Not quite there yet. Just wait. I checked my my stats on my IBKR after last week, and this is the best Q1 start I've had since coronavirus recovery. I'm even killing 2022. It's fantastic. So I'm primed, man. This is gonna be a good year. I was waiting for 2025. We talked about 2025 up until it started. Regardless of the election outcome, it was gonna be fantastic, and so far it's proving out to be fantastic, and I can't wait. It's gonna be a great year. Switching to micros has been the best decision ever. You're very welcome, Jaden. Awesome stuff. Position sizing, using smaller contracts, and looking for long outside. I had a conversation with one of our members this weekend because he was struggling, and I wanted to help out. And a lot of it has to do with his mindset of he needs things now. He's J.G. Wentworth, baby. 877 cash now. He wants his cash now. It's your money. Use it when you need it. And I'm like, hey, man, think about everything great that people want to achieve, whether it be fitness or trading. It's all about the long-term goal. Stop thinking about what you can do now and think about what could happen. Just think, what could you actually do if you grinded every day, very small amount, in 12 months when you go back and look? And if you can actually get that through your brain and consistently apply yourself, you can make a ton of money, an absolute ungodly amount of money. It's the beautiful nature of compounding interest, compounding gains. Yes, bounce off the 50 Fibbo. Nice, Mojo. Beautiful. Stout, we're trying to chop in between. 840, look for the break either way. So ES, this should get us into the weekly high. That little bounce back up of the support resistance test should get us back up to weekly high. We have right here 77, which will get us a new weekly high there. I believe I've got a mark there. Yeah, that will get us a new last week's high. And then after that, if we accept that, it'll be a nice little reaction. How do prices from the S&P 500 relate to SPY? Like when you mention a price level, how does it match up to the same support and resistance? It's not the same support and resistance technically because they are two separately traded products. But, I do convert my SPY levels to SPX and ES because they do, the price action goes similarly. But they are different products, yes. They have their own volume and et cetera, et cetera. So I just plot them because they do react usually around the same levels. For NASDAQ, I haven't really focused too much on NASDAQ the past couple of weeks as I get further and further away from prop firms. But NASDAQ here, 19,800 here. That they have already taken out last week's highs. They are at their support resistance flip at the moment, which is 2 weeks ago's lows and last week's highs, support resistance. If they take this level out, it's not outside the realm of possibility to look for 940 on NASDAQ. 940, it's another 140 points. Looking at ES here, they're at the same respective levels. They're a little bit under it. So this level here, last week's highs, is a huge level. It's the upper end of the macro range. It's where, if we close over today, things start to look bullish. We're still inside the range, but we are now at the upper end of the range after this 80-point move since 2 in the morning. This 80-point move has brought us right up again the upper range of this macro level. And if we break above it and hold on the daily, now we can start looking at the possibility of 58.50. another 200 points higher in the S&P. The problem with this bounce so far is that we have done it on very light volume. I think it was Mojo last week or week before, whenever, asked that, do you have to bounce? Do you need high volume to bounce? I think that's what the question was. And the answer is no. However, volume drives confidence. So if we put on a huge high volume bottom wick with high volume, very strong bottom wick, that is confidence. If we bounce without volume, cool, you can do it. It's just we don't drive the same amount of confidence. Like, holy crap, there's the buyers hammering the crap out of things. So we're now at coming back up. We've completely ate up that red candle, 56.80. We do have data in 4 minutes. Yeah, buddy. What's the data in 4 minutes? Business inventories. It's a very light data. Very light data. The market probably won't even react to it, but still it's there. Not to mention the 10 o'clock move has been working really, really well. The top of the hour move has been providing a lot of opportunity here. And I think we are going to wipe this weekly high, at least temporarily. We deserve a banana today. We'll get some bananas going. Once I have something high confidence going on here. Crazy storms throughout the country, man. Jeez. Business inventory. I wonder if we see the usual fake data sell off and then rip off a bottom wick. It's possible. We now have, 3 minutes? Man, it's going to be a great week. We are going to be doing a lot of streaming this week on Wednesday. FOMC day will be here pretty much all day. So be there or be square. Gotta try to get this stuff together. Oh, I need to post my TLT edition. Last week I did one on Friday. I'm going to have to do that. Can we talk about a play from the day before FOMC like a swing? Yeah, absolutely. Depends on the price action there, but I'm playing my thesis. My thesis is early bullishness this week, followed by the bears taking back control into the end of the week. The reason why I say that is because of quarterly OPEX on March 31st. I think that is going to, that right there is going to be phenomenal exposure. And I think they're not going to let this thing go too far before that event. Now, after OPEX, or a monthly OPEX, I think that could provide a phenomenally bullish move. But we'll see here. We'll see. All that is conjecture at this point. I'm long, but I want to see if they close the hanging man. Well, right now they are testing the waters at the weekly high. They know, we know, they know, we know, we know, they know, we know, they know. That sort of thing. Weekly high, everyone sees it. We're not the only ones here that can plot a level. 56.75 here, weekly highs. So they are coming up against this level. They're absorbing it. That's why we have now 2 top wicks off this level. No coincidence. Once we take that out, not to mention this liquidity here at 5686, 5695, they're going to come up there. But they're not going to let you just, all right, here's your level, weekly high, let's attack it, here's your call, go enjoy your day. They're going to make you work for it. And then, of course, looking at the options data here, we have put buying is starting to pick up. There's still aggressive call buying, but put buying is not void. We have about 300 million of puts being purchased here, as aside from 600 million in calls. I would love to see a sweep. $10 move. IV is still elevated, all that stuff. What's up, Chris Moon? Rivian, I haven't seen that one in a while. Although I just came back from Colorado, so I saw a crap ton of Rivians and Teslas. I had to chuckle when I was driving around Colorado, man, because 5 years ago, if I saw a Tesla or um, an EV or stuff like that, I was like, oh, I know who he's voting for. But that answer has completely changed now. It's funny how things change. They were all over NYC. Yeah. Data sell-off? Possibly. I think sweep. I think sweep. Oh, Portland are everywhere. Oh, Portland, yeah. I bet you. I bet you. Business inventories. Let's see what happens here. Obviously, no reaction to the data. Light work, no reaction, apparently. That's what the kids say these days, isn't it? $56.66. Something light, they would say. Another red move. If we break through 56.76, do you think we go to 5,800? It's possible, yes. Their next target is, I mean, we got to play target as target here, but yeah. Nice little rejection. The inventory's in line, yep. Did ES change charts? ES did, or TradingView did not. Did not change charts, so. $56.58, nice move down. Took off that upper liquidity. They are dealing with this. 15-minute, we have a doji and now a red candle after the engulfing green at 9:30. And this is the third 15-minute candle of the day here. So plot the morning high and lows, start to carve everything out. Can you explain a liquidity sweep? I can. A liquidity sweep is when you have when you go up against a support or resistance, in this case the resistance, they thrust through it with a very large, in this case a green candle upside. Usually it comes after some consolidation, so you'll have a period of consolidation. It could be 5 minutes, it could be an hour, it could be multiple hours, where they consolidate at a resistance, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, they blast through it. Huge green candle, booyah! It gets everybody chasing because most traders are reactive. So they wait. Oh, huge green candle, boom, take a call, and then they cram that thing back down. Immediate top wick, and they smoke it. And that's how they get you. They stop out all the longs, they get people chasing, and they cram the market back down. Usually happens at a good resistance here. So it didn't happen this time, but that is a good way to do things. So that's why you never want to chase the full first breakout or breakdown on a move, because that's where they get you. The retest is a more high confidence stuff here. Nice little red move down. They've just taken out about a 20-point move lower. Pre-market is all the way down to 5599, but that's still a long ways down. They're bottom wicking off of the 950 pivot there, still in a defined range. If they take out that level, look, they are climbing into puts big time. We are now at 900 million puts as opposed to 800 or 600 million calls. So the puts are not going without a fight. This is our Independence Day. Investigation against NVIDIA Corp. And encourages shareholders to learn more about the investigation. Interesting. I wonder what that's going to be about. When do you enter on a retest? Do you enter when the retest breaks down below? Yeah, so a retest right now, for example, if they smoke this thing down, and I'm not already in, I would wait for them to bounce back up and retest approximately 56.50. That's the support resistance test. That'll get you a good short entry off of rejection to go lower. Nice little move. Red candles. Still contained, but the puts are piling in. 900 million in puts. It looks like she's going to break. But she's still holding so far, but it's looking spicy. Amazon sliding. XLF is top wicking. XLY got crushed. XLE is flying. XLP is up. U is up. I is up. C is up. C is coming down. XLRE. All of the X's are flying, with the exception of a couple. XLK is coming back down. NASDAQ is a bit more bearish today than ES, and it's because most of the X's are flying right now. Tech is the one bleeding. In fact, all tech stocks now are red. So tech is taking a bit of a bath today. The S&P is holding up quite nicely. What's up, Damien? Wife surgery went well, resting home. Beautiful, Damien. Glad to hear it. I'm glad to hear it. XLE is still up. Yeah. Still range contained here on the upside. 56.63. $56.63 there. Retail ZOD option flow is anywhere close to institutional. I'd have to look. I don't track retail options. I track what's perceived as institutional options. Still range bound here, 56.55. This should be able to get us another retest of the high here. Now with this consolidation back and forth, if they continue to attack this 56.75 without breaking lower below 56.56 or so, that should give us some upside momentum. But there's a lot of puts on the books here, and they're still increasing puts. So we'll have to just wait our turn. Shaking and baking. Nice little top wick again. Conversely, if they flush 56.53, I think we'll retest at least the morning open, if not lower. Nice little top wick. Still a top wick. They got this cat here at 56.50 putting on some liquidity. And then, of course, this guy down here at 33. NVIDIA's flow is puts. Hero is 900 million in puts. They are stepping into puts big time. Big time here. They still have calls on the books. They haven't rolled the calls yet, but they are squeezing into some puts here. Let's see what happens. not letting this thing go at all. Just pinned. Do or die level, baby. Next candle, 5-minute algorithm. Five, 6, 6, 3, 15-minute. That's a doji and a bottom wick on the 15-minute. 56.65. What can they do? The algorithms are very patternized at the moment. So between 6 and 7, and then 8, and then 9, and then now between 9 and 10, they're doing the same thing. A period of red, huge green. Period of red, huge green. Period of red. If the pattern continues, we've got about another 20 minutes or so of some red before another huge green if the pattern continues. We'll see what they do. Right now, they're still holding this little upper range and bottom wicking everything. $66 and going. Green candles, 56.66. We are neck and neck. Equal amount of calls, equal amount of puts on the option chain, and we are neck and neck on the price action. Bottom wicking off at 56.54, top wicking off at 56.75 in a little 20-point range, and now we're climbing all the way back up. They looked like they were going to dump it back over for a sec, and now they're coming back up to the high. And if they take out this high, I say we fly. Yes, I'm a poet, and I don't know it. If we take out this high, be delicate, because we could put on a decent move up. We haven't had a decent sell the entire pre-market. The bulls have been in control the entire pre-market here. Well, I guess the opening. The opening and balance, the opening settlement open here dropped about 30, 40 points. And then it's been upside. So definitely the bulls are in control here. Tesla didn't get the memo? Yeah. Tesla's been getting creamed. They're down another 3%, liquidating off of 250. So on Tesla, you know, with them doing what they're doing here, they've been consolidating for 4 days now, back and forth in like a 3-4 point range. 56.70, here we go. We're going. They are not bouncing, but they did put on some stopping volume there on March 10th. Huge amount of volume with a huge red candle that immediately bounced back up. So they're at their POC. It looks like they are ready for at least a temporary upside move, a little recovery. But if they fail and go lower, there's 186 all over it. 56.71. Bulls are now climbing back up here, 20 points up, and I think they're about to fly. Watch this. 56.90. Flying. Here we go. Instant 20 point recovery on ES. Now they're testing the upper part of the range. Puts are increasing. We now have more puts than calls as we go higher. But they are testing the upper side of the range here. This is now the third test of the 5670 without any kind of material rejection. Liquidity is posted 5,700. VIX is still being liquidated. VIX is now down another 4%. Low, low, low on the VIX. Nearly impossible to short with the VIX liquidating like it is. 5672 on ES. Watch, they're about to do it. They're about to do it. If they keep building puts like this despite the green action, it's going to be a very volatile afternoon. It'll be a fun one to trade. They're just waiting. They're going to stick into this resistance, and then they're going to plow it. Watch. Just waiting. Oh, man. Back and forth. Another red rejection. Let's see what they do with this one. Tight range. Double bottom, triple top is consolidating. Yep. Come on, baby. NASDAQ just removed their upper liquidity at 19,850. That's 60 points higher. Bottom wicking this red candle here. If they bottom wick this candle, she's going to go. It all depends on how long they stay up in this area to absorb the resistance. So this is a this will be a important move here if you want to go long. Bottom wicking. Here we go. Here we go. This is so annoying. They got to turn and burn, man. They got to turn and burn. But you see the little liquidity shift to 5707. Just got to be patient, that's all. Just got to be patient. $56.65. Oh my gabagoo. They're going to launch, yeah. Bottom wick, 56.70. Oh man. $920 million in puts. They are just piling into puts here. They've maintained the same level of calls since about 10:30 or 9:30. I'm sorry, but they are piling into puts. So maybe a liquidity thrust higher, and then after dump into the afternoon, because right now they are grinding higher in a little upward wedge into resistance in a very tight pattern. Either way, I think we'll have some opportunity here. We have 5680 for SPX as the upper leg of resistance, which is in 15 more points. And I bet you we climb into that and then reject. $56.70, and I bet it'll do it quickly. I bet what we'll do is they will put on a big move that makes everybody go, whoa, and then within a few moments, we'll top wicket. So just be on your game here. Be on your game. There's a lot of cross currents at the moment. Crossed currents. They are buying puts. Now there's a lot of calls in the books too. There's 800 million, 700 million in calls on the books too, and they're not closing them, but they are piling into puts here. So I think a double move this today, green than red. Based on that, right now they are up against the resistance weekly high, the big dog level. Did I banana into for a big Shrek? Negative. Negative. I'm being patient here. NASDAQ is getting pummeled, or tech overall is getting pummeled. Everything else is quite green. XLF is going strong, and if they fall over, if ES begins to fall, then we'll know what's going to happen here. That's why we're kind of seeing this choppiness, is that the mega caps are getting smoked. Everything else is very, very green, and it's causing ES to be slightly higher than NASDAQ relatively, and all this back and forth in the upper end of the range. AMD still rocketing. Boring. INTC's rocketing up 8%. Yeah. $950 million in puts. This is setting up for a liquidity sweep higher and then dump. You know, I know, you know, we know. This weekly levels here. Yeah. Have you ever used Option Strat? Yes, I have. What are your thoughts on using their flow service? Is worth it? I have never used their flow service. I've only used their calculator to calculate options. I'm not a huge believer in options flow because you don't know what's going on with the positions. Like people say, all right, well, someone just opened a $300 million put. Like, yeah. Or $3 million put. But you don't know if that's part of a leg or a strategy or what. So it's the only time that thing is really useful is when it's heavily, heavily skewed, which in that case, it should be pretty obvious what's happening. Now that could be different on smaller names that are, kind of like what Unusual Whales does is they post the positions of our nice corrupt politicians. In that case, it could be helpful on smaller names. Watch, they're going to get you complacent and they're going to put on a wow candle. They're going to put on a wow candle. It's going to get feisty really quickly. Unusual gabagoo, that's right. Holy crap, they're actually there. Oh, this is boring. Rejection. Uh-oh. 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 Let's see what they do here. No position for me just yet. I don't like this crap. 1.1 billion in puts. 600 million calls. They are continuing to roll into puts. We swept that 15-minute low, but not able to put a new high. Probably down. Yeah, I think we're definitely going to have a move lower. Not to say that they won't sweep it higher first. It looks like we're kind of putting on these higher highs, higher lows, which is like a wedges type price action, which means that that we're entering some sort of supply here, which is obvious because we are at the last week's highs. $1.1 billion in puts. What would be the best service to see call and put buying, selling for small accounts? Spot Gamma, in my opinion. I've tried Unusual Whales, I've tried Tradie Ticks, I've tried Spot Gamma. And Spot Gamma, in my opinion, is my favorite. The reason being is because Spot Gamma is the only service that provides their notes about what it all means. So if you want to learn about what it all means, not just follow the data, then Spot Gamma is going to be your best bet. They explain it. They do their founder's notes every day that explains what all that stuff means and what it really means to you and how do you implement it. Instead of just saying, oh, there's a bunch of gamma at 5690, I think it's a good way to go. I do have of course, I am affiliated with Spot Gamma, obviously, and the reason being is because I believe in their products. NVIDIA is getting crushed. They just rejected 123 down to 119. Next support for NVIDIA, 118.18. It's interesting to watch tech get smoked, and yet ES remains high like this. 1.15 billion in puts. They're smoking into puts right now on the options chain. I'm trading stocks. I have no budget and monitor for both Spot Gamma and Bookmap. Which would you prefer for stock trading? I'm a big believer in order flow. Order flow and liquidity to me is better than is the number one thing you need to do analysis on. If you only have a certain amount of funds, if I'm being completely honest, you don't need any tool. I went majority of my career without any tools at all except my brokerage account and TradingView. You need a good charting software and you need a brokerage account. That's the only thing you absolutely need. Like food and water. That's food and water. Food is, I guess, is TradingView, and water is your brokerage account. That's all you need. Now everything else, if you got some extra income you want to throw at some tools to help you, get a little bit better, Bookmap would be the first one because I'm a big believer in monitoring order flow and monitoring the charts. Little red candle here, still back and forth. Red candles. And then after that, options flow data. 1.3 billion in puts. They are dumping into puts. Interesting. interesting. $56.55. If they break this, it's all she wrote, people. It's all she wrote. $56.53. I'm pretty good at this stuff. Yeah. It pays the bills. It pays the bills. $56.52 here. This is at the support. Coming off. 1.3 billion in puts. They're still increasing in puts. What are we going to do? They've got to hold here. They've got to. Otherwise, you're risking bouncing back up. So far, we're doing a good job. Wow. Look at that flow. That's crazy. Dealing with this, they're absorbing it. 1.5 billion in puts, and they're now selling calls in addition to buying puts. So they've got to be able to hold this level. They've got to. And they're bouncing back off of it. Bottom wick off the lows. Still hold. What can they do with this candle? Wasn't Friday similar with put call flow, but we were bullish? Not to this degree. They're not only buying puts here, but they're selling calls. They're selling them back off. So, and we're still at this resistance here, but we're still inside the range here. Bottom wicking off 56.53, top wicking off 56.70. Nasdaq is getting crushed. The whole tech stocks are getting crushed. Nvidia is getting crushed. And ES is kind of back and forth. The spot gamma standard enough for starters? Yeah, definitely. I do have an options a code to get you 50% off your first month as well, which I will post in the YouTube chat. If they fail this candle, I do think we'll see the day's lows, and then after that, of course, we'll do some analysis to look, but we'll see what they want to do here. The price action wasn't strong after the opening candle. $56.56. Oh, man. Bouncing off the lows again. $56.58. CVD is dead neutral. Price action is in this tight range. We have liquidity to the upside at $56.90. And we have a whole crap ton down lower that's way lower. Down here at the 5,500. And we are defending this lows. If they fail it, we go down. Downtown. 1.5 billion in puts. Gonna get that 800 again. 1.51 billion. To the wall. Doji here on the 5-minute. 5656. Can we fail this? Watch. 5656. NASDAQ is 19,720, defending their lows. They're putting on a range expansion here. $56.52, dropping back over. If they can hold it, down we go. With all these puts. We just got to get going. Can they do it? 1.65 billion in puts. Hit some pretty good scalps for the day I'm out. Finna hit the gym. Nice, Jaden. Here we go. Come on, baby. Get it. 1.65 billion puts. Can they do it? They got to clear it. And bottom wick. I was out for 30 minutes to see off guess. Not yet. We got to get out of this range. VIX right now is bouncing back up. Tech is rolling back over. But ES does not want to go because the rest of the X's are far too bullish. All of the X's are rocket ships except for Tech. Tech's getting crushed. And that's why we can't go anywhere. And bottom wick. Terrible, terrible range. This is awful. Can't close out of anything. I'm playing SPX, Callie. I'm looking to play SPX. And I'm trying to get us a close out of this range so I can get something going. But, man, this is terrible. Bottom wick. X's are incredibly strong. And we're back to that side of the range. When you've got this much mix and match, it's not the greatest day because you've got so much pushing and pulling. Nothing can break out, nothing can break down. And it's causing us to just range. I'll just go on my morning walk. Yeah, let us know when you leave so we can short it. Looking at the chart on 5-minute 200-point move on SPY up or down doesn't make sense. We're going for down and sometime or shoot up. This range on the daily does not have a lot of volume. Well, you know, it all depends on your thesis on your Sunday night prep. You know, how much Sunday night prep did you do on the macro stuff? Remember, it's not about today's session. It's about how today's session fits into the daily theme. I'd guess so, nothing. Well, if that's the case, then I probably wouldn't trade today until you're able to get that done. Because you don't want to be faked out. Like right now, we're up against last week's highs. We've got a lot of cross currents right here. Nvidia is getting crushed. They've got a big red move. Tech in general is not doing very well. We've got the S&P is doing very well, but tech is not. So it's causing this back and forth here. We've got a crap ton of put buying here, and they're starting to sell calls. And it's causing us to be very range bound. It's my money and I need it now. Looks like the repricing options on both sides. The real move is Wednesday. I think either Wednesday or the day after Wednesday. Thursday, obviously. That was a dumb way to say that. Day after on Thursday will be either the move. So we gotta get through the shakeout. I like getting hit with hot dogs. Yeah. So watch the highs and watch the lows. I would plot 5673, 5653, 20 points. You have to get outside that range to get moving. Right now they are range bound. And there's a ton of red in tech, and there's a ton of green and everything else. Macro week is down with VIX and OPEX is right there, kind of scenario. My thesis this week was, of course, if you listen to the weekly brief, you know my thesis and all my parameters around that is early week bullishness, late week red. Tuesday night Japan interest rates decision. Oh, there you go. Yeah. So Thursday we dump. Come on, baby, just go somewhere. Do something. Come on, do something. Mojo's the only one making money today, baby. With iron condors. IV is 28%, so we've had about 5 to 7% IV crush today on today's options. Weird t-shirt. I'd rather make money directionally. It's faster and more fun. It is definitely more fun. Yeah. $1.5 billion in puts. Terrible. If we break out in either direction, what's the confirmation to look for? Well, you've got two scenarios you can play. You got the aggressive move and you've got the conservative move. The aggressive move is when we start to engulf 5650. After 1, 2, 3, it'll be the fourth touch. Hold on a second. I got an important phone call to take. All right, never mind. Um, so there's two. The aggressive move is that when we start to touch it on the fourth time, whichever direction, because we've tested the upside and the bottom side 4 times apiece. So if we tested the fourth time, you could play the breakout. If you want to get an early entry and risk being rejected, you could play the breakout and see what happens. That's a riskier move, though. If you want to play the retest, which is a more conservative way that I like to play, you let it break through, you let it reject and come back and retest the support resistance flip. So if it breaks higher above 56.75, you let it break above, top wick back over, and then bounce off of 56.75, and that is where you enter. That's a conservative retest approach. Now there's risk to both sides. There's risk that you try to play the retest, and all that was a liquidity sweep, and they're going to dump it back over. Either way, so there's risk to both sides of the chart here. You just have to pick your poison. Because right here, we're back and forth. All right, I am back. Sorry about that. Had to talk to my concrete guy. My HVAC guy has destroyed the concrete, so they're having to pay to replace it. Terrible. Haven't seen that message since T9. Yeah, buddy. All right, so hey, another red candle, and of course another instant bottom wick. So unable to get out anywhere. Hero indicator, we still have a lot of puts on the books. They're not closing the puts. They're not adding to them, but they're not closing. Oh, nope. I just hit refresh. 1.7 billion in puts. So they are continually buying into puts here. Look, I'll show you. I'll show you. Take a look at that right there. We just got to get lower right here. The way MMs use volatility to trap, like those shorts there, just to show they're getting them out of position before they make a move. Yeah. Yeah. Do you think we'll get 3 rate cuts this year? If you were to ask me 4 months ago, I'd say no. But if the data continues to roll this way and things start to ease as they are easing, then yeah, I do think we'll get 3 rate cuts. What's the difference between today and Friday? The sheer size. This is aggressive. Like this data on Hero is aggressive. 1.7 billion. Now, if they sell the calls, things will get high confidence. Right now, the book is skewed to puts, but they're not selling any calls. If they start to sell all the calls along with buying this many puts, then that's when things will start to get pretty feisty. But remember, no matter the options chain, the order flow rules. And right now we have a lot of green on the S&P. 9 of the 10 X's are green, and they're not selling. They're very, very green, whereas tech is getting smoked. And that's why we're back and forth here. So, yeah, we'll probably get a late day break here. But right now, the market is not letting the S&P fall because nothing is falling except tech. And this is absolutely awful. Awful, awful, awful price action. Should you sell your puts? I'm down 26%. What expert are they? 0 DTE? I mean, 0 DTE puts, 26% is usually within the bounds of acceptable loss. Because, I mean, heck, half a candle and you're back to break even. So, I would say, I mean, if it were me, I wouldn't close out just because they're 26%. It really matters on what your thesis is. If you took a trade based on a thesis and it didn't play out, then I would close them out. However, you know, things don't look incredibly bullish here. So don't let me tell you what to do. But you know, we have 1.7 billion in puts on the books. I would set your parameters and then take your hands off. Since I do HVAC, curious how they messed up your driveway. I had concrete poured one morning. The next morning, so 24 hours later, the HVAC guy says I have to come put the HVAC units today, otherwise you won't get them for another 3 weeks. So I said, okay, you can do it. And I asked the concrete guy, and he says, yeah, you can walk on it, you could do your work on it, but don't drag anything across it because you'll desurface the concrete because it's still, you know, kind of curing. And the guy said, okay, that's fine. Well, the next morning, the foreman that I talked to was not there, but his workers showed up early. And they literally backed the truck up, put the units on the concrete, and drug them across the whole thing. Didn't even care, and they're not heavy units. They drug them. So now I have gouges throughout the hull of the concrete. So I was like, this is terrible. Red candles. Let's see what we can do. So he's going to replace it. Another bottom wick off 56.50. Surprise, surprise. We had a nice little move down here and bottom wick. Oh, I was aggravated. I was heated. I said a couple of words and I went and sat in my truck for like 20 minutes because I was heated, and I knew that I was going to get into an altercation if I stayed there. 56.50. Can we get below here? Give me something. Oops, you're in the green. See what I mean? See how quick things move? Oh, Mrs. Diplomat, yeah. You're at $5. There you go, buddy. There you go. Man, they are toying with this. They are toying with this. 1.8 billion in puts. Come on, baby. Do something. Institutional puts are increasing at a rapid rate. Oh, I'm sitting in a truck looking at how I could KO the dude. I was heated. I'm not going to lie. Very heated. Come on, baby. CBD is neck and neck. Neck and neck. You did something a lot of men wouldn't do. Sit back and chill. Yeah. Once I heard Jocko say that anger is a weakness, I've always tried to contain my reactions to events like that. Because anger is a weakness. Losing your cool. So. Now, there is justified anger, but, I'm not going to KO some dude for get myself in trouble for some dude messing up my concrete because they're going to pay for it. All right, they're not holding the bottom week just yet, so maybe this is the move to start breaking out. No, they are. Here he said he was. We had a conversation. He said, I'll pay for it. You just let me know. VIX is climbing back up. This is one of those days where I think that the moment I make a move, it'll dump or jump in the opposite direction. Just going to watch the show. There you go. Take my strong hand. Come on, baby. Do something. Do something. Let's hit another refresh. 1.8 billion in puts, and they are starting to sell some calls here. When does the gravy train start? When does the gravy train start is the question. When does the gravy train start? It's your gravy. Use it when you need it. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Now, they've got to close under 56.50. This is a support resistance. We've bounced off of it 1, 2, 3 times. This is the fourth test. I'm back. I can't stay away. We've got to get through this area. Are they going to plunge it? We have a slight increase in volume. They are selling puts. They are now almost negative delta on puts. They are now almost net negative delta on put. I'm sorry, on calls, not puts, on calls, which means they're almost net call selling today. But they can't get through support just yet. Let's go. Where are the vlogs for house building stuff? I'm waiting for the series. I started doing that, and I realized that I just don't have time to record and edit and do all that stuff in addition to actually build a house. So I didn't do it. Hey, green bounce. This is absolutely awful price action. We're in a range within a range, which is awful. Bounce off you up. Yep. 56.53. Yeah, tech is dumping, man. Tech is not doing well. $1.9 billion in puts. Still buying puts. This is interesting. I'm going to go see if SpotGam is commenting on this. I'm curious on their take. I'm gonna tweet this, see what they say. All right, here we go. Top wick again. About to roll. I don't know. We'll see. Let's go. Very tight. Sprained my ankle severely a week ago. Going to some hyperbaric therapy. Nice. When's contract rollover this week? Friday. Friday. Is this it? Is this going to be it? Is this it? Nice little top wick test lower. Is this going to do it? Are we going to have a wow candle if we break through support and blast? Downward blast? Is this it? Zach De La Rocha tell me that anger was a gift in my teenage years. Oh, there's nothing wrong with justified anger. Justified anger is good. But it's how you react to that justified anger. Come on now. Do it. $2.1 billion in puts. And they are selling calls. This is egregious. They're testing this lower bound here. This is a support resistance test from 0.840. They are now selling calls. We are not in negative delta territory yet for calls, but it's close. Be wary of taking advice. Yeah, he lost credibility when he went from rage against the machine to rage with the machine. $56.48. Come on, baby, do something. Make me feel feelings. Rage Against the Machine still. It is pretty awesome. Their old stuff is still awesome music, definitely. 56.50. Red candles. Can they do it? Oh, man. $56.47. Can't take the suspense. I took profits on my puts when I got to my daily goal. Nice, Callie. Here we go. Come on. Get going here. Come on. Step right up. Go ahead. Make my millennium. Yes, 2.2 billion in puts. They are still buying puts. This is insane. I've never seen this much activity on the puts with so little action. This is obscene. It's the market is growing tumescent with anticipation. What does that tell you? I don't really know. I mean, this is crazy. You know, I've seen Hero be wrong before. Like where it's just wrong, it happens. It's not 100%. Nothing is. But I've never seen this much activity on the options and so little activity on the charts. I mean, they are just piling into puts. 2.3 billion in puts. Trigger that pressure plate in your chair. Tell me about it. Face towards enemy. Let's go, baby. Yes, they are. Techno pig. Techno pig. Techno pig. It's because the market wants to come back up, but there's so much downward momentum. Think about we swing to some green weeks. I mean, I'm sure some green weeks are coming. Oh man, watch. They're gonna tow this thing, and then they're gonna blast. Yeah, bait more by the dippers. If you don't mind me asking, what's your win rate? You play very conservative, so just curious. Many people already play no patience, I'm sure. It varies. You know, sometimes it's higher, sometimes it's lower. I'll be honest, I don't monitor my transactional win rate anymore because it's pointless. I've had periods where I've had a 91%, 95% win rate. I've had times when there's a 30%, 40% win rate. It's just you go through periods. What's more important to me is my daily win rate, which is usually hovering around between 60 to 70%. Sometimes higher, again, sometimes lower. All I care about, though, is that my overall P&L, my equity curve, continues on a slow grinding move up, which right now it is. Consistency, yeah. Come on, baby. Give me some of that. Come on, baby. Do something. Do something. I do play very conservative, though. Sometimes too conservative, sometimes appropriately conservative, but I do tend to be more conservative than most, which I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but it keeps me from getting any massive wins, but it also keeps me from taking any massive losses. I'm somewhere in the middle, which I think is a good balance. It works for me, especially when running a server. Yeah, but it's also the reason why the server hasn't exploded in popularity because I'm not a very You know, a lot of those dudes that have 200 and 300,000 people, they're taking a lot of crazy risk, and they're very boisterous personalities, stuff like that. So yeah, it's great, but it also keeps me from going too big, which is good because I did get very big at one point, and I did not like it. I did not care for it. So I'm actually happy of where we are. We're kind of where we are right now in terms of membership, is that it's manageable. I don't have to delete too much crap. I don't have to monitor every single message, all that kind of stuff. They've removed the upside liquidity. And bottom wick. What does removing upside liquidity mean? That removes they're taking off the upside targets. When they start skewing the book lower by removing upside liquidity, that means that there's more pull lower. Bottom wick coming back up 56.55. Speaking of memberships, I signed up, re-signed up on my Discord. Isn't loading. Let me take a look. Oh, okay. I see. I got you here. I'll get you hooked up. All right, you should be good. Should good to go, Steve. Appreciate you coming back, man. I had to leave. I was in your server from 21 to 23. You're the best. I've learned a lot. I had to leave because I got tired of blowing up my accounts. I needed some time off from the market. No, I feel you. I feel you. Appreciate you hanging out with the YouTube though. I'm still on March contracts, Callie. Still on March. Once TradingView clicks over to June, I'll click over to June. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. What's the VIX doing right now? Remember, today is VIXpiration. VIX is rolling back over here. 56.54 on ES. They're retesting their support. So they finally broke through 56.53. They went down to 45, and now they're popping back up and retesting that support. So if they take that out, you know, the same old crap. So not the greatest action. Just checking the stock and trading is going up significantly, but CVD is negative. Negative 600,000 is, whoa, 600,000 CVD negative? Probably, yeah. Yeah. Green. 10-point bounce, 11-point bounce. VIXpiration means market expecting up or down. I don't know what your question. VIXpiration doesn't mean anything about up or down. It just means the monthly VIX contracts are expiring. When it sometimes creates some wonky behavior because you have to focus on what's happening with the VIX. And the VIX right now is overall downtrending today. So they're killing all the VIX calls that were greatly in the money the past couple of weeks. For me, it is. You can put it on anything you want. For me personally, it is zero. Yeah. Thank you. little bit more red. Red, green, red, green, red, green. Back and forth. Looking through a few things here. Another bottom wick. VIX right now is 21.13. They've already bounced off the 20 mark once today. We're down in that area. If they take out 20, that'll be your emphasis to start longing the crap out of everything. So keep an eye on the VIX today. $56.58. ES is coming all the way back up. Wow. What do you make from the IV coming back down to the 20s this week? I have not seen it this high for a sustain. It's IV crush. So they're crushing IV and OPEX, which is definitely a tailwind for the market. So, and this market so far is just grinding. Grinding. This is a terrible price action. XLF, new high. XLV, new high. If you go look at all the X's on my watch list that I've given you all the X's are freaking flying. I mean, exponential. Every single one of them except for tech-related X's like XLY and XLK. XHB flying. XLRE flying. XLE, everything is absolutely exponential except for tech. That's why this price action is doing what it's doing, regardless of the option chain, because there's so much green that's incredibly green, and tech is just getting destroyed. If tech decides to bounce and come back up, then the S&P is going to rocket, given the green that we have here. And all those puts that are on the books here are going to close out, and it's going to absolutely explode. It's phenomenal. But right now, this price action is absolutely terrible. Green, 56.65. How much of red is tech due to Tesla? Would this look a lot more bullish if it's on par with the others? I mean, no. I mean, look at the here. If y'all don't have my watch list, I'll go ahead and show you. This is what I'm looking at right now. That is called a divergence. I do not care to trade a lot when the environment looks like that. That's terrible. Hugely red tech and hugely green S&P. And you have this sticky price action that just doesn't move no matter what. It's terrible. So it's not just Tesla. Nvidia's down 1.6, Apple's down 1.2. Amazon's down 1.2. Meta's down 1%. Tesla's down 5.5. It's terrible. RTY, new high of the day. Dow, almost new high of the day. It's about to. ES is bottom wicking everything. Coming back up to 5660. $56.61. Almost Euro close here in about 5 minutes. We'll see what they do with Euro close. Terrible stuff. $56.58. Oh man. Oh, 12:30. The time change. Dang it. Yeah, I always forget about that. Every year I do that. Every year. Let's see here. We have 2.1 billion in puts still on the books. We have 500 million in calls. So they just repurchased some calls there. They didn't sell puts, but they repurchased some calls back and forth. And we are still smack dab in the middle of the range we've been in since 9:35, the first 5 minutes of the day. 20 points up, 20 points down. Terrible, terrible action. I'll give it a few more minutes here, and then I will get off, and of course you all will get your move because that's the way it always happens. Can you tank the market, please? I just want to do something, man. I just want to do something. It's terrible. Terrible. A little bit more red. A little bit more red. And a euro close. Oh, nope, never mind. An hour and 2 minutes. I bet he signs off and he's still there. Sometimes I do that, but today I won't be doing that. I got a lot to do today. Sometimes I'll have lunch at the computer and work on stuff while I'm eating. Sometimes I won't. You know, it all depends. Bottom wick. Absolutely terrible. Is that Bitcoin short still on? I don't know. I'll have to look. $56.60 back up. Appreciate you following all the story every day at 10:30. You're very welcome, Martin. Very welcome. What's spot Gebet or not? What's Bookmap telling me here? So, Bookmap, we've got very light liquidity on the books here. CVD has been back and forth between negative to green to neutral. Now it's green to 1300. We've got this cat up here who's been diminishing his exposure from 56.93. This guy took off at 56.77. So there's not really much up top. Most of everything which is down and far, far down. We've got another top wick coming on the books here, 56.50. Let's see what happens. We've got Hero, who's got, let me hit another refresh before I give you updated information. We have 2.2 billion in puts on there and 300 million in calls. And they're just steadily increasing into puts all morning long. I have a feeling it'll be like this till FOMC. It's very possible. I've seen crazier stuff happen. Nice little red candle we just had, and of course instant green back up. So it's just still all the same stuff. Anybody have any good for lunch today? Anyone got any downward channel theory like plot slopes on lows and highs and see the direction? Well, right now, you know, we are putting, I mean, there's little channels all over the place here because the price action is so tight. We're on a bit of a downward channel at the moment. But in terms of that, the support resistance is at 5648. We had a rejection off of it Friday. That's Friday's highs. We rejected off of it today at 840, and we bounced off of it at 1105. So that's the main line in the sand here. We have 48 or 4648 to the bottom, and we have the 5672 up top. That's the big resistance here. You know, which one's going to win out today? It all really depends on which side of the market wants to catch up to the other. If the rest of the market takes profit and sells down with tech, then we're going to plow through the overnight lows. But if tech bounces along the rest of the market, then we're going to fly. And I don't really know what's going to happen here. Yeah, the option chain looks incredibly bearish right now, as bearish as I've pretty much ever seen it. But it's not correlating to the price action at the moment. So I don't know when or if that's going to correlate. They could easily just close these puts in an hour and we're just going to fly. There's a lot of wonky stuff happens around these expiration days, expiration to OPEX. That's why usually we have these volatile moves, because it kind of does a lot of wonky stuff. Another red move back down. What's the daily high for ES? Daily high for ES today is 5674. Which, by the way, we now have. You know, we could do your analysis on the morning high too. The morning high, morning low. A little bit more red coming on. Guess that was a head and shoulders on NASDAQ, I suppose. Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully it doesn't have dandruff. Nice little move down. Can they hold this without bouncing again? Or are we going to bounce for the umpteenth time? We're kind of channeling down lower here, and we're at that support resistance test. Are we going to come down to the low of the day, which is 5632? Uh-oh. Hey, I didn't leave this time. Yay, me. Are they going to bottom wicket? There you go, Hey, who was that? McBeamerson? That should get you nicely in the money there. There you go. Plowed. Still going. Wow. Plowed. Look at that. Are these puts going to finally win out? 2.4 billion in puts. Wow. 2.6 billion in puts. Sweep the overnight low. Let's do it. They're still bottom wicking it though. They can't get through anything. There's no follow through on any move. I got a notification from Wendy's on an exact coincidence. I think not. Hey, go get you a spicy chicken sandwich, Mikey. Trippy Mike. That was a delicious move down. But again, it bottom wicks. Now we are below the support resistance flip, and we have 2.6 billion in puts on the books. But they still can't make any follow through here. Can they do it? The amount of puts on the books is extraordinary. Nothing is short of extraordinary. I sold out. Let's go. Nice, McBeamerson. Well done. There ain't nothing wrong with that. What'd you come out with? 30%? 40%? Come on, baby. Make something happen. Do something. Don't bottom wicket. Come on. Do something. Still concerned to take a put there. Yeah. I got started on break even. Then this happened. Hey, that's okay, man. This is not the best day to trade, so don't hate yourself for getting out break even on today like today. It's terrible. This is terrible price action. It's okay. We've had a lot of volatility. You can't eat it every day. All right? You can't absolutely just smoke it every day. Breaking even on a day like today is not bad. The CVD just went from 1300 down to negative, or barely negative, and then it popped back into the 100s here, but it's still a big reduction here. We have another iceberg coming on, very small, 56.37. And absolutely no follow through. Could have got 30%, but my Schwab made me refresh. What does that mean? 56.43. They've got this iceberg. Very light, 56.41. My app made me refresh to sell. Interesting. Man, they can't make any freaking follow through. $2.5 billion inputs. VIX, what's VIX doing here? VIX popped back up to 2130, so they are still defending this low mark on VIX, but they're already buying up the entire red candle, so all the way back up. Terrible. I made 3 trades today in the first 30 to 45 minutes. First 2 calls, made profit, lost a small amount back. Good day so far. Nice, there you go. 1.5 is excellent. Well done, Woot Loot. Well done. I'd around Orange Circle asked about the channel theory. Hope someone played it. I'm just not sure what all this means, still learning. Yeah, it's a 5-minute channel. Helps to have your unbiased opinion as confluence. There you go, Woot Loot. Beautiful. Bouncing all the way back up. More of the same. 5646. Red candles, back over. Hey, that is sexy. What is that? Oh, I want it. My buddy just sent me a PSA link for a tactical Marlin 4570 lever action. Yeah, that's sweet. Super sweet. That's a gun from Wind River. Never heard of it. What's up, Damien? Discussing price action, yeah. Adios and vaya con Dios. Another top wick. I'm going to give this a few more minutes to gotta do something and then I'm out. I'm going to go eat some lunch. We had a beautiful little top wick back over, but of course they're buying it back up. That's on my wish list. Yeah, it's still $1,400. It ain't cheap. But I was monitoring the opposite direction. I took the initial break out of the bottom, the confirmation to downside, and built a position off R1 retrace. Nice. Yeah, see a channel within a channel. If you are going to do channels like that and trends, make sure you're doing your due diligence and going back and forth on longer time frames to plot all the major trend lines. Because the bigger the time frame, the more emphasis it has. A 15-minute or even a 60-minute trend will overcome a 5-minute trend. Another top wick. 2 top wicks in a row. Can that get us to the low of the day? Low of the day is 5632. Can we get there? Sometimes when the trade goes against me, I just pray that it goes to break even and get out if there goes regardless. Yeah. $56.42. Let's go hit another refresh on the old hero indicator. Let's see if it's a hero today or a villain. 2.7 billion in puts. They are still buying puts. Like, this is absurd. Like, usually I would expect a pretty significant downtrend, which technically we are downtrending since 9:45. It's just incredibly slow and grinding. It doesn't make for good volatility. Volatility. Are they going to smoke the put buyers this afternoon? I don't know, man. I don't know. Just watch out for the low of the day, which are 56.32. Not pre-market low, but low of today's session, which is 56.32. Watch out for that level because we're approaching it. We're about 9 points away. And unless the buyers can kind of get on their horse, I don't know if they're actually going to get through that 56.32. I got clap Friday because of hero puts, waiting for the price action. Well, I mean, nothing works 100%, but hero usually leads me in the right direction. And so far, I mean, although we're not tanking, the hero puts are pointing us in the right direction because we didn't break out, and the hero puts became very bearish. And so far, they're leading in that direction. They're just not doing it in a very aggressive manner. It's just kind of like trickling downhill. Kind of like the water into my garage because the concrete guy sloped the concrete the wrong freaking direction. Which is another problem I have to deal with. 56.42. Refresh. He had one job. He did have one job. It was a different concrete guy, though. They switched concrete guys on me. Oh, man. All right, y'all. I'm going to call that a day. So, appreciate y'all hanging out. Sorry it was a boring day, but hey, you know, we've had a lot of volatility the past couple of weeks. And of course, I've been on vacation, so I knew this was going to happen when I come back. But we are going to have a ton of volatility this weekend. We have FOMC, we have OPEX, we have NVIDIA, we have a whole bunch of stuff. So do not fret. Hope you all have a good rest of the day. Let me know if you have any questions. Don't get chopped up, and I'll see you tomorrow. I'm out. See you.